So AJ Lee has got to be coming back to WWE. Now, firstly, that rhymes, so it must be true. Also, if WWE is heavily teasing as much as they are, and they don't intend to do this, well, my gosh, we're about to get one of those backlash reactions that lasts for ages. But yes, after ending Clash in Paris with Becky Lynch going heel after she already was a heel, doing the double heel turn, and smacking CM Punk right in the groinal area, we actually had CM Punk and Becky Lynch go head-to-head on the mic. I think this is the best Becky has been since she's been a heel this time around. And actually, I do these two at WrestleMania. I said this on social media, cheap plug Simon at 316. Some people thought I was joking, and I was half joking. Of course I was. But it interacted so well together. I was like, I wouldn't totally mind it if we lived in such a world, but of course WWE stays away from that kind of thing. But with WrestlePalooza 2 weeks away and SmackDown being in Chicago and the fact it is the first pay-per-view on ESPN, you have to figure this is WWE's plan. I mean, you're going to get Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, which, controversy aside, is going to be seen as a big match. You'll probably do Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. That's a massive match. You could have the return of Cody Rhodes there. It now even looks like we could do the Usos, having a match against Bronson Reed and Bron Breed. Don't know whoever that is. It's the second time I've done that today. Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. Somebody hasn't slept for 3 days. That would be me. But I did make that mistake on Ups and Downs for What Culture. So you can check that out now, and please do subscribe to me when you are here. AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch is such a crazy and mad match that, yes, if you are trying to get more attention for that show, it would be the way to do it. Now, listen, we did see CM Punk talking to Rhea Ripley here, and of course, Nikki Bella has beef with Becky Lynch. It's just going to be a mistake, right? That's not what fans want. Wrestling is a very simple business at its heart. You just hear what the audience wants and you give it to them. Every now and then, sometimes you are going to have to head off in different directions. But CM Punk also teasing it by saying, oh, Mr. Adam Pearce, where is SmackDown this Friday? It's in Chicago, where CM Punk and AJ Lee live. The crowd in Paris was going nuts, going, AJ Lee. Even though it's never sort of been highlighted in Storyland, most people know they're husband and wife too. All the pieces of the puzzle are there. And if we are going to go left when we should be going right, it's going to be a Cody Rhodes situation from WrestleMania 40 or a Daniel Bryan situation, a Bryan Danielson thing, and I'm sure there'll be other ones I'm not thinking about right now. It would be totally, totally mad. And I don't think WWE is that dumb. And I think they'll realize how bad it would be. But if you're only going to watch one thing today, you should watch this interaction between Punk and Becky, mostly because Becky was obnoxious in the way that she was meant to be. And also spoke from the heart, I would imagine, too, in it. That's always perfect for a heel, where they can say something that actually has justification to it. And you're like, but then they become such a dick. You're like, well, now I'm a bit mad at you. Because she was saying, even when you weren't at the company, these people would chant CM Punk. And here I am, busting my ass, trying to raise the women's division. I took us to the main event of WrestleMania. It was nothing to do with you, all these fans. It was on my back. And I still don't get any respect. And Seth Rollins comes out going, because that's all he seems to do these days. Obviously, CM Punk can't hit Becky Lynch back for obvious reasons, so he's getting madder and madder and says she's going to regret it. They kept talking about his family. It was just awesome. It really, really was. It was a great segment. It was very WWE. It was very sports entertainment. But I don't say that as a negative. I don't say that disparagingly. That's what WWE should do. We just mentioned WrestleMania 40. The back end of that WrestleMania 40 main event is so over the top and ludicrous. Only WWE arguably would have been able to pull it off in the way that they did do. So lean into that stuff and give it to me more, especially because at the moment there are some wishy-washy things, especially about Raw and the tag team division, where I feel like WWE could be leaning in harder, but they've forgotten about it instead, which is also something that WWE's want to do. But I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I think AJ Lee coming back to WWE would be massive and huge and excellent and ace and top. In other words, I'm going to stop saying, because I'm going to run out of positive things. It never really felt like she left on her own terms because there was a lot of controversy. Again, you can go read about it. She was ahead of the game. So when she was doing her thing, the women were not given the respect that they do deserve. So getting to come back now, even if it's a one and done, I think sometimes beggars can't be choosers. And I actually don't mind if we just do it for WrestlePalooza. Again, we just do it as a novelty match, whatever you want to say. And then you can re-separate Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I actually don't think they should be on screen. I don't think she should be a member of the Vision. I know that everybody's written that in their headlines, and I probably did it as well. But, I mean, on paper, you can argue she has. But I just think it should be a coming together of real-life partners to have a match. We all understand what wrestling is. It's all wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's going to get a massive reaction. People will be so damn happy with it. I don't know where WrestlePalooza is, but I presume it will be a hot crowd. If you can do it, and if AJ Lee is up for it, strike when the iron is hot. And it also kind of gets you through WrestlePalooza. Seth Rollins ain't going to lose that world title for a long time. We are going to have to do Seth and CM Punk, given how the Clash in Paris match ended. So yeah, that's what we should do. Really great, really good, really fun, even if a lot of it was wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Not necessarily sure AJ Lee will be on SmackDown, but I think we should make it very clear if she's not. The bigger part of me thinks that she will be there. Everybody will go mad. We'll all talk about it on the internet before moving on to something else. But yes, I was a huge fan of this. I think Punk massively enjoyed it too. I think he sold it great. One of Becky Lynch's best performances of the year. Seth Rollins didn't do much. He kind of took a back seat, but, that's totally fine as well. And even though now we did kind of make that four-way into a novelty angle, I suppose, just to get here, the return of AJ Lee is massive news. Let's not pretend otherwise. I would love it if she could go on a singles run and take on a Becky Lynch, or even go back and do the Nikki Bella stuff, or the Stephanie Vaquer, or Io Sky, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley versus AJ Lee would be absolutely excellent. I'm very excited. Just very good. Otherwise, though, I suppose we keep teasing the Kabuki Warriors are going to go heel. Like Asuka and Kairi Sane, but Asuka dragged Kairi Sane around, and she yelled at Rhea Ripley. She pretended to be friends with Io Sky, but she's not. She kind of looked at Nikki Bella too. Now, they did beat Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez here. Really good match. Just Asuka is just the best. She's like one of the best ever as far as I'm concerned. But I think what we're going to do here is that I think Stephanie Vaquer could win. So it's also now going to be Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky at WrestlePalooza for the women's title, because Stephanie Vaquer was the number one contender, and Io Sky was meant to face Naomi before she did get pregnant. I personally think we should have had more fun with this, and Stephanie Vaquer should have been the end-of-level boss. Do a tournament, do a multi-person match. Just make it feel like whoever got to be the extra person, the extra number one contender, just had one last hurdle to get over, but I guess WWE didn't want to beat people, and that could just be me thinking that. Maybe that's a stupid thing to do. But Asuka, I think, will probably screw over Io Sky in that match. That allows Stephanie Vaquer to win. The Kabuki Warriors are then heels. Rhea Ripley will get involved in that, because Rhea Ripley and Asuka had a big shouting match. You absolutely need to do that feud as well, because my gosh, it'll be amazing. And then when that does all peter out, given that Kairi Sane, I presume, will go with Asuka, will be bad guys. Hopefully Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss will then be done with the Secret Hervis, and do the Kabuki Warriors versus those two for the tag team championships. They can hot potato them, they can change them around. That is some matches I will watch for a long old time. So all that stuff is really good. Like, I really, really like it. The backstage skits are a bit weird. I can't remember, was it Jackie Redmond or was it Kathy Kelly? Whoever, it doesn't matter. They said to Rhea Ripley, Rhea, is your friendship with Io Sky affecting your championship opportunities or your want of a championship? Rhea was like, no, I'm a wrestler. I'd like to win some titles. When Asuka walked in, it was like, no, you're not allowed to touch anyone, and don't you dare push me ever again. So all of this is good. A lot of the verbiage we are given in the questioning is just, it's a bit old WWE for my liking. You can just let these people talk. We've seen them talk before. We've seen them be their true selves, and it works wonderfully. But I do like the story. And of course, I never want, well, them being pregnant's a good thing, but it did mean that we had to shift the angles all of a sudden. And I think the Asuka Hill turn was planned, but we pushed fast forward. But actually, it's one of the most interesting things on Raw. And it's actually something that's going week to week that I want to see develop. I like the Raw Tag Team division, which doesn't just exist, to the point that New Day did a skit on here that was very funny. I enjoyed it, about the death of the tag team division. They essentially had a funeral, and it wasn't even a parody. It was just true. It's like, this is why satire is dead. I do not get what we're doing. Like, this week, it was Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee. Really good match, awesome, loved it. But of course, he's the tag team champions with JD McDonough. They have no challengers right now. Now, maybe Dragon Lee's going to get a partner, or he could do that, but it still feels rushed. And then the War Raiders come back to team with Penta to take on the New Good Day. That's what we're calling them, with Grayson Waller. And where have the War Raiders been? And you can't throw them back into the tag team title scene, because it just feels like that's been done to death. Which actually is why I'm glad that we seem to reunite the Usos at the end of the show. But then I also think that's just to have a match at WrestlePalooza against Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. This is like a Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch situation. I don't think you can put them back together for the long term, because Jey Uso is just way too over as a singles guy. And I think we could do more with Jimmy Uso as a singles as well. You can argue that in terms of in-ring performance, Jimmy is the better one, and Jay's the one that's sort of better at the character stuff. That's totally up to you to decide. And I love that match. Again, doing it at WrestlePalooza or somewhere like that would feel like a big deal, because the Usos are one of the best tag teams of all time. But I'm a bit like, can we stick them in to the Raw Tag Team division? They're goats, man, when it comes to that scene. I really need those titles to come back together, so we unify them. Because SmackDown has all these teams, and Raw just has... I mean, who was JD McDonough and Finn Balor going to feud with next? Like, who is there? The Creeds can just come back up, but I feel like we've done that. Again, the War Raiders vanished, but they've come back. We've done the New Day. We just need to balance the books with this, and it's not a big deal. It's not like I'm getting all irate about it. I'm certainly not. I just think that there are so many people in the mid-card that do feel a bit directionless, that if we could kind of highlight some of the teams and draw a line under it and let them promo it and remind people the belts are meant to mean something, it would only take a few weeks and be right back up there. I mean, who could Dragon Lee even get as a partner? I don't know. Because it kind of felt like Andrade and Phoenix should jump across the Monday lights, like I say, but then you've got an extra person there. I don't know, man, but I do think it's a bit wishy-washy at the moment, which isn't ideal. I mean, I much prefer the women's tag team scene to the men's at the moment. That's because these belts are, what's the word? They're fluid. They can go wherever you want. You can even take them down to NXT. I think the men's would benefit from it greatly. You could even remove the NXT ones if you're happy to send people down there as well, because the less is more aspect and sort of the way that people have to fight for their opportunities would make it mean more. So it's not bad. It's just a massive shame. And again, that 6-man tag was really fun. And the Finn Balor Dragon Lee was just great. Like, what a great professional wrestling match. As was AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio. Like, I think it was a mistake not having AJ Styles win the IC title because blimmin' heck, man. France and Paris just loves AJ Styles. And that's why I thought we held it off the PLE, the pay-per-view, do it on Raw, put it in the main event, get a massive reaction. We didn't do that. It was the tag team match between LA Knight and Jey Uso taking on Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. They started the show as well. Very standard promo, set up the tag team match. That's getting a little bit laborious is too strong. We just seem to be doing it every single week. But LA Knight and Jey Uso both have more edge in their characters now. Not Adam Cole when he went to AEW. And I think one of them could go heel, probably LA Knight, but we should do that feud as well. And the only reason we didn't here is because of the Vision coming out. But LA Knight made it clear. Kind of a stupid point. He was like, well, I should be the champion, but you stopped me winning. Jey Uso should have gone, yeah, it was a 4-way, bro. That's how this thing's... It's wrestling. Do you think I was your friend? I'm absolutely not. But anyway, I think AJ Styles should win the championship. Instead, we did more distractions. There was way too much distraction this week's episode of Raw. Now it's my fault. I'm being that guy. I'm being a hypocrite. I should now watch WWE and just expect distractions and interference and confusion. But it's still winding me up. So that's actually something I have to deal with. That's a fair point. I would take that on the chin. But yeah, I would have had AJ Styles win. Instead, El Gran Americano runs out. He headbutts in with a loaded plate. Frog splash 1, 2, 3. I'll be okay with this, but Dominic Mysterio needs some proper feuds now. Like post-WrestleMania, he's kind of been distracted with other things and then doing one-off matches with people that named after shapes. The AJ Styles thing's been really good, but it still feels a little bit out of sync with me. Unless we're going to do it one more time at WrestlePalooza just to make that show again, first show on ESPN, feel like a big deal. But you're never going to get the reaction. Nobody, I would imagine not even AJ Styles' family, loves him as much as Paris, France loved AJ Styles. The reaction was incredible. And they were happy just to boo Dom as well, whether they liked him or not, regardless. So I just thought it was the time to do it. I think it's quite sad we didn't do it, but I'll get over it because it's professional wrestling and it's not a big deal. I think that was most of the stuff that happened on Raw. It's a real shame that WrestlePalooza is only 2 weeks away because I think with some time to build all of this, especially the AJ Lee stuff. Let's say AJ Lee is going to be on that show. We did it all in 2 weeks. And maybe that's a good thing, really. Maybe you don't want to overcook the pudding. And actually, if I saw it the other way with a 4-week or a 6-week build, but I just feel like every day I wake up, we're on the cusp of another PLE. And it's just the whole less is more or more is more situation. When you're giving me this much, they don't feel special. So it's hard to get super pumped for WrestlePalooza when we just came off Clash in Paris and we just came off a SummerSlam. And of course, SummerSlam was 2 nights as well. And that does sit in your brain as well. It's just a lot of content. And of course, we can pick and choose. And we should never be too mad because it's great that we're spending our money and we're getting a lot back for it. But when it actually starts to affect the actual quality of the product, because WWE understandably feel like they have to rush things, so they can't let things breathe, which was the best thing they were doing in 2023 and 2024. You could use those background skits. You could have somebody say something like, oh, what does that mean? And it would pay off in a few weeks' time. But now for week Saturday or 2 weeks Saturday, whatever it is, we have to dive in head first. You just need to get to the part of the end, right? You need to get to the third act before we get to the credits, which will happen, at the pay-per-view, and then you get back to Raw, and you start again. I don't know what the pay-per-view in October is. Bad Blood, was it last year? Is there even one at the moment? Then obviously November is Survivor Series. I mean, I haven't looked at the calendar, so this is a stupid thing to say. But nothing in October would be good. Really sell the idea of War Games. I mean, I imagine it's going to be Team Punk versus Team Rollins. Maybe you could even do an intergender one. I don't know. I doubt WWE would do that. But I think that intergender match is going to be good. And I'm very, very excited about it. And yeah, Punk was great here. Rollins was great. Becky Lynch was great. And if AJ Lee does make a return, it's going to be awesome. And it's going to make us feel warm and fuzzy in our tum-tums. So it's 2 thumbs up for Monday Night Raw. Well, 1 thumb up for Monday Night Raw. I like the Oscar stuff, but a lot of people are just floating around at the moment. And I'm intrigued to see what we do with LA Knight. I would turn LA Knight heel, I think, which also kind of feels dumb because the fans love him. But then there's this idea of, what's the word I'm looking for? He just needs something else. And he is kind of walking into that Drew McIntyre territory where he says something that kind of makes sense, also kind of a goober thing to say. I don't know, we'll wait and see. But we have just switched him to Raw. And it was nice he got to be a part of the opening promo because usually that tells the fans, oh, this person is a big deal. Like I say, we wait and see. I did enjoy this Raw more than most. And I love the fact that the Raquel match, the tag team match, just ended with a winner and a loser. And Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez are so good, it doesn't hurt them. They're the bad guys as well. And Oscar and Kairi Sane just look great, especially if we're setting them up for a future tag team match or an Oscar versus Rhea Ripley match, because I would presume that Rhea Ripley would win that. So if you build Oscar up before you get there, it's just wrestling 101. So I kind of dug this one, although I'm so damn tired and I need some sleep, which is what I'm going to do now. Not true. I'm going to do some wrestling training today, which I can't tell you about. It's a big secret, but it's very exciting. However, you can drop me a comment below and let me know what you thought about Monday Night Raw. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Please do click the video on the screen for my Clash in Paris review. For some reason, it didn't go out to everyone. No idea why. I'll be completely honest with you, because you'll be the sickos, right? You made it to the end of the video. My YouTube channel isn't notifying people, and we're kind of in the doldrums at the moment, but we'll get it back. We always do. Go click things. That would rule. Otherwise, what else do I have? Fitness channel, that's down there. Patreon.com/Simon316 for my $5 only watch-alongs. They're always fun. Gridmind.com/Simon, because I get 10% off ships worldwide. Best fitness supplements there are. Otherwise, social media, Simon316. Simon Miller is 316 on TikTok and Cameo and Pro Wrestling Tees. And that's it. Maybe I will go get a quick nap, but I will see you in the week. Let's get some content made, and I love you, but let's go on a date first. See you soon.